Here we have a plane so gigantic that companies use it to transport parts for other planes inside it. And this is currently the largest autonomous launch drone that's being developed for military use. Oh, and we also have a plane that looks like it was made by gluing two planes together by the wing. But in fact, it's used to launch people into space, and that's just a few of them. We've got even crazier ones. Starting with number 1, Antonov An-225. Okay, let's kick things off with a beast so big it basically needed its own zip code. Meet the Antonov An-225 Mriya, the largest aircraft ever built in the history of aviation. Mriya means dream in Ukrainian, and honestly, it looked like you were living in one. This 6-engine giant stretched a ridiculous 275 feet long with a wingspan of 290 feet. That's wider than a football field. It weighed 285 tons empty and fully loaded, over 640 tons. That's like carrying 4 blue whales through the sky. It was built in the 1980s by the Soviet Union to piggyback their Buran space shuttle, and it could, thanks to 32 landing wheels and a max takeoff weight of 1.4 million pounds. Only one An-225 was ever completed, and it set 240 plus world records, including hauling the heaviest single cargo item ever. Sadly, it was destroyed during the war in Ukraine, but the legend, that's still flying high. Now, before we move on, don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying the video so far. Number 2, the B-2. The B-2 might be popular now, but this bomber is the terror of the skies, and if you ever hear it on the battlefield, it's already game over. The B-2 Spirit, aka the stealth bomber that looks like it was designed by Batman's personal engineer. This flying wing is all angles, no tail, and absolutely terrifying if you're on its bad side. First flown in 1989, the B-2 was built by Northrop Grumman to be invisible to radar, and they pulled it off so well that even today, it's nearly impossible to detect. It can carry 40,000 pounds of bombs, both nuclear and conventional, and fly 6,000 miles without refueling. Add aerial refueling, now it can go anywhere. Only 21 were ever made, and each one costs a cool $2 billion, and yes, that's billion with a B. It's basically the flying equivalent of a secret agent, silent, slick, and deadly. And even though it's been around for over 30 years, it still looks like it flew from the year 3000. Number 3, Ravn X. The Ravn X is not just an aircraft, it's a fully autonomous space delivery drone. That's right, no pilot. Built by Avon, a startup with big dreams, the Ravn X is 80 feet long, stands 18 feet tall, and has a 60-foot wingspan. It's designed to carry small rockets under its belly, fly them up to 60,000 feet, and then launch them into space. Think Amazon Prime, but for satellites. It's made of 80% reusable materials, can launch in almost any weather, and is built to take off from regular runways, no spaceport needed. First revealed in 2020, it's the world's biggest drone and could change space delivery forever. Number 4, the Stratolaunch. The Stratolaunch looks like two airplanes got glued together after a wild night out. This twin fuselage monster holds the title for the largest wingspan of any aircraft ever, a jaw-dropping 385 feet. That's longer than a football field and a basketball court combined. Built by Stratolaunch Systems, founded by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, the goal wasn't to carry passengers, but to launch rockets into space. Yeah, this plane is basically a flying launch pad, and it took its first flight in 2019 and is powered by 6 Boeing 747 engines. The design allows it to carry massive payloads under its center wing, then drop them at high altitude to rocket into orbit. It weighs about 500,000 pounds and needs a 12,000-foot runway just to take off. Now, it might look odd, but it's doing something most planes can't, making space a little more reachable, one strange flight at a time. Number 5, the A380-800. Now let's get commercial with the king of passenger planes, the Airbus A380-800. This flying giant is basically a cruise ship with wings. It's the largest passenger plane ever built with 2 full-length decks, room for over 850 people if packed economy style, and a wingspan of almost 262 feet. It first flew in 2005, and airlines like Emirates turned it into a flying palace with showers, bars, and first-class suites. Powered by 4 huge engines, it cruises at 560 miles per hour and can fly over 8,000 miles without refueling. Airbus spent around $25 billion developing it, but in the age of smaller fuel-efficient jets, the A380 was just too big to last. Still, it's one heck of a ride. Number 6. The KC-10 Extender. The KC-10 Extender is a flying gas station. This military aircraft doesn't carry bombs or passengers. No. Its main job is mid-air refueling, and it does it like a pro. Based on the civilian DC-10 airliner, the KC-10 was introduced in 1981 and can carry 356,000 pounds of fuel, enough to top off multiple fighter jets in one go. It has a refueling boom at the back and a hose and draw system, meaning it can refuel any type of aircraft, anywhere. It also has room for 75 people and cargo if needed. With a range of over 11,000 miles, the KC-10 keeps the U.S. Air Force flying longer, farther, and faster without landing for gas. Number 7. The Airbus Beluga. If an airplane and a whale had a baby, you'd get the Airbus Beluga, and yes, it looks exactly like its name. This oversized cargo plane was designed to carry giant aircraft parts across Europe. You know, like wings and fuselage sections that just won't fit in a regular jet. First launched in the 1990s, the Beluga is based on the Airbus A380, but with a massive bubble-like top. It's 124 feet long with a cargo hold that's 25 feet wide and can carry up to 47 tons. The newer Beluga XL, introduced in 2019, can carry 2 A350 wings at once. With that smiling whale face, it may look goofy, but it gets serious work done. Number 8. The Spruce Goose. The H-4 was so crazy that it looked more like a flying boat made by a mad genius. Meet the Hughes H-4 Hercules, better known as the Spruce Goose. Built during World War II by the eccentric billionaire and movie director Howard Hughes, this beast was made almost entirely of wood, birch, not spruce by the way, but the nickname stuck. Why wood? Well, because metal was being rationed for the war. The Spruce Goose had a wingspan of 320 feet, still the longest of any aircraft ever, and it stood nearly 80 feet tall. Powered by 8 massive engines, it was designed to carry troops and tanks across the Atlantic, but the war ended before it was ready. It only flew once for just 26 seconds and only 70 feet above the water, but technically, that counts. Today, it lives in an aviation museum, still looking like it's one gust of wind away from world domination. Number 9. The An-124 Rustlin. Now, let's meet the Antonov An-124 Rustlin, the little brother of the An-225, but still a total heavyweight champ. Built by the Soviets in the 1980s, this cargo plane was made to haul anything from tanks to satellites to other planes. It's 226 feet long with a wingspan of 240 feet and can carry up to 150 tons of cargo. That's like loading up 2 fully grown elephants and a school bus. It has a range of over 3,000 miles fully loaded, and its nose actually lifts up to let cargo in, which is both practical and extremely cool. The An-124 is still in use today and has become the go-to plane for flying really big stuff that just won't fit anywhere else. Now, if you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to crush that subscribe button and make sure you're liking the video if you enjoyed it. Number 10. The LZ-129 Hindenburg. The reason we placed this bad boy so far down the list is because it's a rigid airship without wings, but to this day, it's the longest and largest airship ever built by man. This wasn't just an aircraft. It was a floating luxury hotel with engines. Built in Germany in the 1930s, the Hindenburg was a gigantic airship stretching 804 feet long. That's longer than 3 Boeing 747s end to end. It could cruise at 85 miles per hour, carried over 90 passengers and crew, and had dining rooms, lounges, and even a smoking room, which, in hindsight, was not the best idea for a hydrogen-filled balloon. Yes, hydrogen, not helium. The reason they used hydrogen was because it was cheaper and easier to get at the time. The Hindenburg completed dozens of successful flights, including crossing the Atlantic But it all ended in tragedy in 1937 when it caught fire during landing in New Jersey. The explosion lasted just 30 seconds, but it changed aviation history forever. One spark and the dream went up in flames. Literally. Now, if you could ride on board one of these aircrafts, which would it be and why? Let us know in the comments section below, and if you like powerful, gigantic machines, you'll enjoy this video too.